Welcome, everyone, to Force of Nature Podcast. I'm your host, Matthew D. Hamilton, and I'm here with my co-host,
David Bodger.
Terrific. On this episode, we are going to cover 5 very strange and bizarre mammals. I chose mammals because if you think about it, all animals are bizarre in their own way.
Yeah, especially my kids.
Especially when you think of it, like you got reptiles, you got birds, and there's fish, and they're all like super weird in a lot of ways. So I chose mammals. I mean, there's still a lot of weird mammals we're gonna cover. They're not like they're less weird, but they're different weird. Yeah. But I felt like it would be better to choose like a class of animal. And the mammals I chose are very strange and all in their own way. And we are going to cover the maned wolf. Naked mole rats, weird. Vampire deer, and the slow loris.
Okay.
And then you also have one for us, right, Dave?
Yeah.
I've
got a surprise.
Yes, I don't even know what it is.
Weird mammal.
But it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to share all this cool information about these weird animals. We hope everyone enjoyed our last episode, our 15th edition of Recent Animal Stories and Attacks. Always some of our favorite episodes to do. We had a couple bear attacks, a croc attack, chimpanzee attack. That one was wild. Yeah. And, of course, the man who got swallowed by a whale.
Isn't that crazy?
And spat out, yeah.
You know what's funny is every time we do those episodes, I then all of a sudden find new ones. I'm like, yeah, it's just a little too late, you know?
Well, it'll have to be for next one. Just here in Salt Lake City, there was that gator attack.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
So we'll have to cover that one.
We'll cover that,
A wild gator attack in Salt Lake. No, just kidding. We're definitely not wild. But yeah, we'll have to cover that next time. But as always, we are joined in the studio by everyone's favorite cheetah, Professor Cheetor.
Good evening, gentlemen. I was speaking with some of my cheetah colleagues, and we actually came to the conclusion that you humans are the most bizarre mammals, with your 2 legs and your females have boobs. So weird.
Well, I guess, according to cheetah, I think every animal is bizarre in their own way, if you really think about it.
That's true.
But thank you for bringing that to our attention there, Cheetor. Yeah. And also, as always, we want to thank all of our listeners for tuning in to us. Our downloads have been really well lately, and it's really awesome. And if you want to... And if you enjoy the show, something you can do to contribute is go to iTunes, Apple Podcasts, give us a review, give us 5 stars, just say something you like about the show. We actually have our most shout-outs we've ever had on this episode. We'll cover that at the end, but for everybody who does give us a review. But yeah, the reviews really help our podcast gain more attention, gain more listeners. They mean more than you think, so please go ahead and do that for us.
Yeah.
Dave, what do you say we get started?
Let's
get right into it. Our first bizarre mammal. This is one I've really wanted to cover for quite a while. This animal is called the maned wolf. Sounds intimidating, right?
Yeah.
Not as much as you think.
Oh, really?
It is mostly bizarre due to its looks. So it is a canine species that looks like, honestly, the best way to describe it, it looks like a fox on stilts.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, it looks like a fox on stilts that's also wearing hooker boots on all 4 legs. But it really looks like it's on stilts. Their legs look way taller than they should. And Dave, we're looking at, I'm showing Dave pictures of them right now. Am I right?
Yeah. It looks like the werewolf on Harry Potter. If you guys have seen Harry Potter. When Professor Lupin transforms, just those long, spindly legs.
I'm not a big Harry Potter guy, but...
Oh, you didn't see it?
I was never a Harry Potter guy.
Our Harry Potter... Yeah, people that have seen Harry Potter, they'll know. Maybe they'll know, because it looks like on the movie. But, yeah, it's weird looking.
It looks like stilts and they look like hooker boots.
Yeah. I was at first picturing, something if Balto and Nala had, gotten it on, Lion King meets Balto, but it didn't... It's not, I don't know. Yeah. There's no mane.
Well, they do have this like black mane. You can see it in some. So.
Well, no, I'm thinking like a lion's mane.
No, definitely not like a lion's mane. But they definitely look way more fox-like than wolf-like. Would you agree? Especially with the ears.
very foxy with those boots. Yeah,
very foxy boots. Very foxy hooker boots. But Yeah, and they're the same color, more similar color to a fox, like a red fox. But,
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
but if you
You
can't
think it's like a newborn about to fall over.
if you can't look at a pic of it right now, then that's okay. I'm going to describe it. But yeah, everybody should definitely check out some pictures of this weird animal.
It is a little creepy looking if you think about it.
It looks like a tall fox, but it's called a wolf. It's actually neither. It's
Really?
not a fox, not a wolf.
Oh.
It is the only species in its genus.
Oh.
So it's like a standalone animal.
Nice.
Good
Good on you, mate.
Yeah, standalone. You don't get that very often.
No.
They live in South America too.
Oh, wow.
Not where you would think that they live. Mainly in Brazil, and inhabit mostly grassland areas.
Okay.
And their weight is around 40 to 70 pounds. That's a medium-sized dog.
Okay.
My black dog Roxy is like 60, 65 pounds.
Yeah.
Black lab. On average, they are around 3 feet tall at the shoulder. I mean, they got a big head, so we're 4 feet tall with the head.
Okay.
And that is all leg. It is all leg.
Do those legs go all the way up?
And they are actually the tallest of all wild canine species.
Oh, okay.
The tallest. And there are a few dog breeds taller, but in the wild, they are the tallest.
Oh.
And they really look like a red fox with tall legs. They're reddish, orange, and brown fur all over their bodies, white tails, and black furred legs that resemble, like I said, they resemble hooker boots. I got nothing else besides that, or they just jumped in some tar. But I'm gonna go with hooker boots.
Yeah.
And they get their name, maned wolf, from the thick black fur around their neck that looks like a mane. And like you said, Dave, you can see it on this one right here.
Yeah.
On this one.
More on the back.
But
the neck.
look at this picture. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
That one
They
is
just
weird.
look weird. It's like part jackal. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's why they're on this list. They're super bizarre.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why they're called the maned wolf. So unlike most canines, the maned wolves are omnivores.
Oh.
Make it even weirder. Right?
Yeah.
Around 50% of their diet is vegetation. So they're known to eat sugarcane, berries, fruits, and they also eat. They're really well known to eat this this fruit called a wolf apple.
Wolf apple. Okay.
Yeah, they're really green. They're not a traditional looking apple. They're kind of weird looking.
Huh.
But that might also contribute to their name a little bit. I don't know. Somebody saw them eating. Hey, that's a wolf apple. That's got some fur on its neck. Maned wolf. Got it. I feel like that's how they name animals sometimes.
They eat it for their mained course.
Oh, good one. All right. But they also do eat meat, primarily small mammals like mice, rats, rabbits, and then birds, and even fish. So the first question you'd ask yourself after seeing this weird animal is probably, what's with the legs? Like, why did evolution, Mother Nature, do this? Like, why? Well, there actually is a reason. Their lanky legs are specifically adapted to aid in hunting in grasslands.
Huh.
Their long legs make them able to stand above the grass in order to spot their prey.
Nice.
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
Now they also have very large ears as well, you can see. And they will stand very still and very tall to listen for prey. Sometimes listening for prey underground even.
Interesting.
They will then stomp their legs to drive out the prey from hiding if it's underground, then leap very far to catch the prey.
Wow.
So they got some distance in that jump, I think, too.
Right on.
It's amazing how, it really is amazing how specific some animals' adaptations are for certain areas.
I mean, how do you think, grass will grow this high every year, so let's evolve and grow higher? Isn't that weird?
Evolution is wild.
Yeah.
It really is. So they have some other bizarre things about them. Unlike most canines who live in packs, the maned wolf is very solitary.
Oh, okay.
And they're lone wolves, you could say. But they really only get together for mating. Other than that, they don't really see each other much at all. And they only make a few sounds. They make this cackle-like sound, similar to a hyena, but they're most famous for something called a roar bark.
Huh.
It's not quite a bark, but not quite a roar. It's like a real guttural bark.
Interesting.
So it's very strange to hear, but it's a guttural bark. So normally a roar comes from down there, from the gut, and a bark is from the mouth. So this is a roar bark.
Huh.
Pretty interesting.
That is interesting.
That's just another thing to add to the bizarreness of them.
Yeah.
But probably my favorite thing I learned about the maned wolf is they pack a very powerful odor.
Oh, yeah?
It's in their pee. Then they use their pee to mark their territory, and it supposedly smells similar to a skunk. One nickname they have is skunk dog.
Huh.
But I guess at zoos, you can always smell them before you see them. When you go to a zoo, you're like, oh, I know where we're coming at now. And have you ever smelled a skunk before and think, hey, that kind of smells like marijuana?
I've thought the other way around.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Same.
Marijuana and thought, that smells like a skunk.
Yeah. So apparently the maned wolf smells even more like marijuana than it does a skunk.
Interesting.
The pee smells just like marijuana.
Wow.
So much so that in 2006 at the Rotterdam Zoo in the Netherlands, that police were called to track down someone smoking pot at the zoo.
Oh, that's funny.
Only to find it was maned wolf pee.
Why have the marijuana distributors or people not gotten one of these as their pets to mask it?
I'm going to bring that up.
Oh, are you? Oh.
But I mean, I don't know if anybody has, but yes.
I'm thinking this is gold, man.
And I also thought about this story, and it's funny because it's in the Netherlands. I thought weed was legal there.
It's not?
Well, I've been to Amsterdam, and you can buy it at like a coffee shop.
Uh-huh.
But maybe I did. Who knows? I do think you have to be in a certain place, like in the premise of the coffee shop, to smoke. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But yeah, I just found it funny that it was Netherlands.
Oh.
And then like you just said, I literally started thinking this too. Well, what if you are a pothead? Maybe it would be a good idea to have a maned wolf as a pet. And neighbor calls the cops. Sorry, officer, my maned wolf just constantly pees that marijuana smell. It's not me. The cops leave, and you can just go smoke a bowl. A very beneficial animal to have for potheads.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But no, they make terrible pets. Do not get one.
Yeah, wait till it guttural roars at you.
A few more things here. Maned wolves are not dangerous to people. They are very shy and timid animals.
Okay.
And ranchers in South America don't care for them, though, as they could potentially kill livestock, but mostly chickens.
Oh, okay.
They have been known to be chicken thieves. Ranchers will shoot them. And also, they have been preyed upon by larger predators like the jaguar.
I can see that.
And jaguar, my favorite animal, and it's the king of the Amazon.
Yeah.
I mean, they kill the caiman, and they'll take out anything. But let's go to our conservation scale. Remember, it's a 1 through 7. 1 being extinct, 7 being of least concern. They are at a 6, meaning near threatened.
Okay.
However, it's believed their population may be on the decline, mostly due to habitat loss.
Yeah. I think it's happening with every animal now.
A lot of them. The ones that are so specifically adapted to the certain environments, they'll be the ones to kind of go first. But then you have animals like a raccoon who just adapt to everything, and they can do good in cities. And
that's true.
Same with bears. A lot of bears, they're good at adapting. So sometimes these specific adaptations don't work. They don't work out after so much time. And now that we're really speeding things up and habitat loss, stuff like that. So something to think about.
Yeah.
I just literally thought of that. But I really enjoyed researching the maned wolf, and I think it's a really interesting and cool animal. But due to its weird long legs, diet, roar, bark, and marijuana pee, it is a great fit for the one of the force of nature bizarre mammals. Yeah. If I had a file of the maned wolf, I would stamp it bizarre.
Nice.
Yeah, cool animal.
Yeah.
It's weird. Let's move on to our next one, Dave.
Okay.
I'll bring up a picture. Ah, what is that? You're the ugliest things ever.
Isn't that weird?
All right. Our next animal
It's like a silkworm with legs.
I think it looks like a potato with legs.
There you go, yeah.
But our next animal is I was honestly absolutely amazed by them. Way more complex than I would have ever imagined. Fascinating, ugly animals.
Huh.
Like super interesting. I'm excited to get into this one because I didn't know anything about them going into this, and it's amazing. So I'm talking about the naked mole rat. I imagine.
How'd they get their name?
It makes sense. What
Yeah.
you want? It's either that or ballsack rat. Ballsack. I imagine many listeners have heard of them and know what they are, but they are, like I said, way more interesting than I ever thought. So let's get into it. And yeah, Dave and I are looking at pictures of them right now. It's just you can't help but laugh.
That almost looks like a portrait of one, like it was someone's pet, like a Shar-Pei right there. Nope, to the right there. Yeah, it's like posing.
Oh, it's so weird.
Yeah.
All right, I can't take my eyes off the pictures right now. And yeah, it's hard to get the words to describe how they look. I mean, like we said, they look like a potato with limbs or a scrotum, but
Yeah.
they're very bizarre. So everybody should go and definitely look at pictures of this. And they're not a mole and they're not a rat either.
But I can see why they would name them that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's like a hybrid of them.
Yeah, and they are rodents, but just like with the maned wolf, they are the only member of their genus.
Oh, okay.
I like it when that happens. It makes things way less complicated. But they average around 3 to 4 inches long and only weigh not even 2 ounces.
Wow.
So they're very light, not very big. And they're like a pink gray color, and if you shined a bright light through them, you could see their insides.
Oh, weird.
So they're translucent.
Wow, they should use them for science class. You won't even have to dissect them.
They don't. You'd have to keep them underground.
Oh, okay.
This is because they live completely underground in complex burrowing systems. So they live completely underground. So this is interesting. The tunnels are about 1.5 inches in diameter. Some tunnels can run just under the surface of the ground, while some are over 6 feet underground.
Wow.
That's 2 meters. But the tunnel systems are very sophisticated. A colony can have a tunnel system over 2 miles long underground.
Gee.
Tunnels connect to nesting chambers and toilet areas. They have like an area for toilets.
Nice. Organized.
Or not they don't have toilets, but that's where they do their business. And tunnels dedicated to finding food. It's quite amazing.
I'm sure the barbershop tunnel is usually empty.
There are no barbers in the naked mole rat communities. But you can find naked mole rats in East Africa, mostly in the drier grasslands of Ethiopia, Kenya, and Somalia. A colony consists of around 75 individuals living in these complex burrows, but there can be more colonies. Over 200 have been observed.
Wow.
So there's a lot more to come. I think I'll talk about their most bizarre attributes I'm going to talk about it in like a bullet point form. Makes sense?
Okay, yeah.
So their social structure is very weird, especially for a mammal. They are what you call eusocial. EUSOCIAL. Compare their social structure to that of ants.
Oh.
Termites, bees, and wasps.
Interesting.
It's like a hive.
Oh.
Weird, huh?
Yeah.
There is a queen. They have a queen, and the queen chooses 1 to 3 males to reproduce with, while all of the others function as some kind of a worker.
Okay.
And the workers, like the other females and not the queen, they slowly become not fully sterile, but sterile for a time.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The queen is the boss. She is the boss of the colony. If another female acts too much like a queen, the real queen will get real violent and maybe even kill it for being such a diva.
Wow.
Now, if the queen dies, other females have like a battle royale to become the new queen.
Nice.
And then the female that wins, her hormones kick back in, and she is now fertile.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and they'll fight to the death if they have to become queen.
Wow.
In the wild, they give birth about once a year to around 11 pups. In captivity, it's like nonstop. The queen is just always busting them out.
Oh, wow.
Always pregnant. But the queen nurses the pups for the first month, after which the other members of the colony take care of them and feed them. They feed them feces.
Oh, weird.
They do that because it's like a guttural acid thing.
Huh.
Something like that. But it helps their digestive system.
Okay.
But yes, they do. They are poo eaters.
Oh, wow.
They do that until they are big enough to eat solid food. So just like with ants and bees, there are workers. So smaller workers focus on acquiring food and maintain the tunnels, while larger ones focus on protecting the colony from predators and other and non-colony mole rats that might come in. When the queen chooses her lucky bachelors, she gives them a rose and tells the others to get lost. No,
Nice.
She prefers to choose unfamiliar moles. So ones that she's not related to, basically.
Okay.
Because you could imagine, you would think there'd be a lot of incest. So the new queen would choose males that she's not related to. And now it could be you can have like mole rats come in from another colony, and they earn their way to be in this new colony. That happens too. So that happens for humans too.
Yeah.
I told you their social structures are amazing. And they are rodents, so they do have incisors. They do have the large teeth, but theirs are a little different, though. They're placed in front of their mouths, as opposed to in their mouths.
Huh.
Like you can see how this picture right here.
I see the teeth.
Yeah, see how they're in front of the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, they're in front of the mouth, and there's a reason for this, and that's to help them with digging.
Okay.
They use that to dig, and they're out of the mouth, so they can close their mouth while digging, and so they're not scraping dirt in their mouth the whole time. So, and their incisors, they act like independent chopsticks.
Interesting.
Yeah, when they're digging, so it's pretty cool. Naked mole rats have the longest lifespan of any rodent. In the wild, around 13 years.
Wow.
In captivity, some have lived up to 30 years.
Wow.
And that is impressive, especially for any rodent, especially like this, like rats and mice. They can make 3 years tops.
Yeah.
So it's very impressive that they can live that long.
Gee, maybe the secret's eating your own poo.
Do not try that, children. Don't recommend it. They also don't regulate their body temperature like other mammals. More like reptiles. They're like cold-blooded.
Oh.
If they get cold, they cuddle up with each other or bask in a shallow tunnel closer to the sun. And when they're hot, they go deeper down into the tunnels. But yeah, they're basically like reptiles, cold-blooded.
Wow.
Just add that to the list.
Gee.
And and since they live underground, they survive even with severe oxygen depletion. So they don't need much oxygen to survive either. Also, these guys are resistant to cancer.
Wow. How is that possible?
The reason is still debated, and we don't know exactly why. Scientists are still looking into it. That's a pretty good adaptation, though.
Yeah. Again, it must be the poop.
It's kind of every conclusion. It's the poop. They have really poor vision, though, as you can imagine, living in the dark.
Yeah.
But they do have little hairs on their bodies as sensory tools to help,
I don't see them.
to help navigate as well as with their teeth.
Okay.
They're real. Yeah. I mean, you can kind of see it on this picture.
Yeah.
They got they're really spread
like
out.
a whisker here and there.
Yeah. I told you they have their own like bathroom area, right? And not only do they feed the children poop, they also roll around in it. And one reason why they do that, and this is for the adults too, one reason why they do that is to give them a specific scent. Then if they come across other naked mole rats from a different colony, they can smell them in order to tell, because they can't see, so they're smelling them.
Okay.
So you got to roll around in the poo.
Oh, wow.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
On the conservation scale, they are a 7 of least concern.
Oh, okay.
It's super wild. I think I've covered everything I wanted to now. But if you gave me a file of naked mole rat, I would stamp them as bizarre.
Yeah.
I actually double bizarre stamp on them. A truly strange and bizarre mammal or animal, just in anything. But like for a mammal, they're super weird. Cold-blooded, basically.
No hair, no fur,
no fur.
Yeah, that's
Eat
weird.
Poo. Well, that's not super uncommon. Lots of animals do that. But they're so weird looking. But they're really their society. It was the most interesting thing to me. Their social structure.
Yeah,
it's like a hive.
That is weird.
Super cool. I really enjoyed researching them. So hope everybody learned a few things. Go check out. I highly recommend you. There's lots of videos on naked mole rats. And they're actually really smart too. But yeah, go check out some naked mole rat videos.
Yeah.
And yeah,
don't let your parents see your search history.
Naked mole rat. You really shouldn't see my history. All this weird. Hyena penises. Oh, duck penises. They're a corkscrew. What? It's got a weird history. All right, so let's move on to the next one on our list, Dave.
Okay.
Next on our list is a mammal with a bizarre-looking adaptation. If you saw the skull of this animal, you might mistake it for like a saber-toothed cat. But it's not a saber-tooth. It's in fact not even a predator. It is a deer.
That is so weird.
It is weird. Their real name is the Chinese water deer, but their nickname, what they're known as, is Deeracula.
Deeracula.
You like that?
Nice.
I can do it too, Dave. No, they are vampire deer is what their nickname. That's what everybody calls them.
It looks like it's dressed up for Halloween.
Now, these water deer are very small, only about 2 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
And only weigh around 25 to 45 pounds. And they live in northeast China, and there's another subspecies called the Korean water deer that lives in South Korea, probably North Korea, but they're not really keen on telling us. But these are called water deer for their fondness of swimming and being around water.
Interesting.
Well, that's not that interesting. All animals like being around water.
Well, deer, it's not like they love swimming in it.
Nah. But yeah, not the most original name is what I'm going for.
Oh,
and
okay, yeah.
They look pretty much like...
Yeah, it's like looking at something with these huge long legs and saying, well, let's name it Short.
Kind of. And they look pretty much like a very small deer, but then when you get to those vampire-like fangs, the fangs make them look kind of derpy. Like, kind of derpy. They have a derpy look to them.
I don't know. It looks kind of freaky to me. It's like... What the heck, And to think that it's only 2 feet instead of something more a larger size, I'm thinking, okay, that's even a little scary, I'd
rather it be big.
What if there were hundreds of those walking around,
So the fangs are much larger in males, and you barely notice them in females.
Okay.
On males, they can get up to 3 inches long. That ain't bad. It's a good size for a small animal. And these canines are technically tusks.
Okay.
I'll tell you what they're for in a minute.
Okay.
But these water deer are not the only fanged deer out there. It's a little confusing, but true... Okay, I gotta explain deer real quick. But true deer are under the family Cervidae, or cervids. These water deer are cervids, so true deer. Then there is a whole other family called musk deer that aren't true deer, but also have the fangs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know. It is confusing. I had to, I got super confused while doing the research. But our water deer with fangs, the ones we're looking at right now, are true deer. It is confusing. Then there is something called the mouse deer, which is the smallest hooved mammal, and they also have fangs. Here, look.
Oh, really?
We're looking at one right here.
How big is it? It looks like the thing from Ice Age.
It does. It looks just like that weird squirrel.
Yeah.
It looks just like it.
How big is this?
Not big, but look how
That's
cute it is.
crazy, yeah. Till you see the fangs.
Yeah. The smallest hooved mammal.
And they got it eating something. What is that? Looks like blood.
Oh.
Is it just licking its tongue or something?
Yeah, it's just licking. But
Oh.
yeah, that super long tongue. But yeah, super weird and cool looking.
Yeah.
That's a mouse deer, so everybody should go check them out too.
Isn't this so weird for them to have fangs?
Well, it's not. And I'm going to get into it.
Huh.
So, but there's way more fanged deer than you would have guessed out there. And it's believed that these fanged deer are, I'm going to tell you, they're older and more primitive than typical deer with antlers. Like fangs came first. And honestly, if you think about it, which is stranger, fangs or antlers? If you think about it, we associate deer with antlers.
Yeah.
But antlers are pretty weird too.
That is weird, but yeah. But to think, when you think of deers as herbivores with fangs,
that
you're like, what? That doesn't make, I don't know. Yeah, but we're just used to seeing deer with the antler.
And deer antlers are like the fastest growing body part for any mammal.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they shed them. Well, they shed them every year. They fall off
true,
every year,
yeah.
and then they grow back just in a few months. Antlers, maybe they are more strange. I don't know. It's up to debate. Decide for yourself.
Yeah.
But all the fanged deer are much smaller than the antlered deer.
Okay.
So maybe something to that. But fanged deer, so they use their fangs for the exact same reason as antlered deer. The main reason is for fighting.
Ah.
It's for fighting, for the right to get the lady deer. Or they could be fighting for territory. Because they actually are solitary.
Okay.
I mean, that's not typical for antlered deer. They live in groups. But sometimes females can be in small groups. So maybe that is about the same.
It's typical for vampires too.
Yes,
Just solitary.
Typically solitary. He'll get a few brides. So yeah, it is actually the same. Their fangs don't attribute to their eating at all. They don't mean anything for their eating.
Okay.
Just for fighting. And when fighting, they try to scrape and stab to wound the other, like on the head, the shoulders, and the back. So they're using them to dig in to their rival. And it's normal for a male to have numerous long scars and torn ears after fighting.
Oh, wow.
It would be quite interesting to see them fight. I didn't find any videos, but it definitely would be interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, back in the 1870s, the Chinese water deer were first introduced to the UK.
Huh.
Their quirky fangs kind of gave them an exotic appeal, so they became popular in some zoos. And around 1929, a number of them escaped a zoo, and they now live on the English countryside, in the wild. There's about 600 to 800 of them.
Interesting. Well, and if the English countryside wasn't creepy enough, you got vampire.
Now you got vampire deer in there.
Mother, the vampire deer eating my garden. Didn't you plant garlic?
How is it?
Mama, if a vampire deer goes up to a pond of water, will it see its reflection? Does it have a Romanian accent?
That was good.
That's crazy.
But around 10%. So they're not like a super problematic invasive species there.
Okay.
So it's not a big deal. There's really not that many animals in the English countryside, like big animals.
Yeah.
So, but are there any? I can't think of any.
Well, they do have deer.
Yeah, I guess so. But that's it.
Yeah.
That's got to be it.
Yeah. Do they have predators? Do they have bear there?
They have foxes, no bears.
No? Yeah, there's not
Maybe
much.
feral cats and dogs.
Huh.
That's about it. But around 10% of the Chinese water deer population lives in the UK.
Wow.
So, on a conservation scale, they are a 5, being vulnerable. So,
Okay.
However, the Korean subspecies seems to be doing much better than the Chinese one.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, vampire deer. Everyone should go and at least look at a picture of them so you know what we're talking about. But the fangs make them very bizarre. Put that file in front, they get the stamp.
Yeah, it's so weird. I know what I want to be for Halloween.
I'm a vampire
Deer. What are you? I'm a vampire deer.
People wouldn't
a
get it.
vampire deer.
People wouldn't get it,
deer,
would they?
I'm a vampire.
Deer, I'm a vampire. Yeah. All right, so Dave, I know you have one for us. Why don't you hit us with it?
Okay.
As soon as you tell me the name, I'm gonna.
Okay, look it up.
type
This
it
is
in.
this is the longbeak echidna, Echidna.
Okay.
All right.
Whoa,
you see that
weird.
thing?
I've seen them before, but yeah, looks like a porcupine mole anteater.
Yeah, it's so weird.
All right.
Yeah, it's the longbeak echidna.
Oh, it's like a hedgehog, kind of.
Yeah, it's like a mix of a bunch of things.
Yeah, it's like a hedgehog, anteater, porcupine.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, continue.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, it's also named Sir David Attenborough echidna.
It's named that?
Yeah, that's another name for it. Yeah.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
I like it, David Attenborough.
The Sir David echidna lives in New Guinea. Yeah, but they live purely in New Guinea. They're about 20 to 40 pounds on average.
20 to 40?
Yeah,
that big?
there's actually 3 species of echidna. Mm-hmm. This is one. The long-nosed echidna is one.
Okay.
It's also, I think it's the rarest as well. But it as you can tell, yeah, like when you said hedgehog, it's got spines on it. They're not toxic or anything. And there's pictures of people just picking them up and holding them.
Okay.
So it sounds
it's
like
not
one
like
of those,
a porcupine.
Yeah, it's not so much a quill, but yeah, it'll poke. But that's what it uses for defense. If it feels threatened, it just curls up into a ball and just becomes those things poking out.
Like armadillo-like.
Yeah, but yeah, there's pictures of guys that'll just pick them. They'll pick them up when they don't, and they don't. That's the good and bad thing about them, because I'll just start with their conservation level, is that they're critically endangered.
Oh, okay.
And they don't, and one reason for that is that they don't have a fear of any predator, because they're on New Guinea, and they don't have a real serious predator there, and they, humans will see them and they're like, oh, whatever, and they just go about their business. They don't think, they don't see humans as a threat, but there are indigenous people there that hunt them for food. So then that's the other reason they're critically endangered. But yeah, they're just another name for them is a cyclops echidna. But you think, oh, what's that from? One eye, but no, it's because they're in the Cyclops Mountains of the New Guinea area.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
New Guinea has the third largest, I guess, rainforest in the world. So behind the Amazon area, and
It's
the Congo.
that whole island is, and it shares an island with Indonesia.
Okay.
So I got the picture right
Yeah.
here. This is Papua New Guinea,
Yeah.
and that's Indonesia.
Yeah, so they just live purely on that island, and so again, because it's an island, there's not much for them to worry about. But they live there in the habitats there in the mountains. They their long beak. It looks, you'd think it was like they can't open it. It's just a hole at the end. Just a big long beak with a hole.
Is there a tongue that comes out?
And it's got a tongue and it can suck things in.
So it's
too.
like anteater style, termites and stuff like that.
Well, it actually eats more things like earthworms.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, it'll eat other things as well. But earthworms are what it likes. But it just goes around hunting, digging for those. See if you can find one with its claws. It's got some long, wicked claws. They look creepy.
Yeah, I can see it on their back leg. They've got like 2 or 3 really big claws. That's very similar to anteaters. They have
is it?
giant
Okay.
claws. It's for digging.
Yeah, they're skinnier than you would think. The claws were skinnier because you'd think they would be like big, powerful claws, like a mole, a mole has, but they're skinnier, and so they look creepier. But yeah, it's It's to dig things up because that's their source of food is in the earth.
Yeah.
And
This one looks like a turtle.
yeah, it does.
We're looking at pictures, and
does.
this one, it looks like a turtle.
Yeah, they don't move very fast.
Okay.
And so, hence one other reason they can be endangered is once humans hunt one, they find them. I got it, So they don't move fast at all. They're kind of the slow, lazy thing, but it's really interesting. The part here's your favorite part, Matt.
The penises?
Reproduction.
Oh. That's your favorite part. What are you talking about?
Okay, so this is a weird part. The way they excrete urine, poop, and have sex is in one orifice. It's all from the same
one and done,
orifice.
baby.
Yeah, it's all there. And the weird thing about them is that they are mammals, but they lay eggs.
Oh, do they?
Yep.
Weird.
Yeah, another one of those type. So they'll lay eggs, they'll hatch, and then they don't have. I guess the mammary glands like
nipples?
Like nipples. Yeah, they don't have nipples. What they do is their young will then go inside of a pouch that she has.
Really?
And the milk is in the pouch.
So
it
it's
comes
like
out inside
a
the pouch
marsupial, kind of?
It's a
Is it a
like
marsupial?
a platypus. It is a mammal.
Well, okay, but a marsupial.
That far I don't know.
Okay. Well, let's find out. Okay, we just looked, and it didn't say anything. Just got a really short Wikipedia, and didn't say anything about being a marsupial. But, they are closely related to the platypus, which is which is the most bizarre mammal out there. So, I mean, I didn't do that. We could do a whole episode on a platypus sometime.
Yeah.
And they, like a platypus, they do have a spur, but they don't have the venom like a platypus does.
Yeah.
That's what we were just kind of reading about.
Yeah, we noticed that. Yeah, we read that there was the venom spur
repressed.
It's repressed. Yeah. Another thing, they don't know much about the long-beaked echidna. Mm-hmm. They're nocturnal, and again, that forest, it's the third largest forest, so they're not
hard
easy to find, and they're not that many. In fact, I read something where the tribes in the area, they hunted down 16 in a year, and the scientists believe that was more than half that are actually out there in the wild.
Wow.
And so that's how critically endangered they really are. I mean, they have some at some zoos, but there's not much known about the long beak. But the short beak, they know a lot more about.
Mm-hmm.
They're more prevalent.
There's more of them. Yeah, they're more prevalent. But yes, we're talking about the long-nosed one. Super rare, super weird.
Yeah, yeah. And back in, when they have their young, they go in the pouch inside, and they drink the milk. The milk is secreted in the pouch, and they get it inside there. And they'll do that till they're about 3 months old, I think it is. And then they live with the mom for a year.
Oh.
And then after the year, they're on their own,
Cool.
So it's kind of, it seems a long time, I would think. But it is, I guess that's the mammal part of it,
Yeah. And we don't know if they're marsupials, but Papua New Guinea is real close to Australia. So if you take evolution to account, that's where that could be a close place to where they are. So.
Yeah, and it was believed they had this long-nosed species, an echidna species in Australia that went extinct. Actually, I think they did find some more, but they're just rare.
Okay.
They're also believed that the long-nosed echidna is one of the earliest adaptations to a mammal. The earliest, I guess, the earliest type of species that would be considered a mammal is what the echidna.
One of the first mammals.
Likely. Yeah,
something of that. Yeah. Something. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So it's a really interesting creature.
Very interesting. Everybody, go take a look at the long-beaked echidna.
Yeah.
Definitely do that. You hear, Dave? Here's the file. What do you want to stamp it as?
Bizarre.
I agree. All right. Cool. Good job. We've got one more for us. Let me pull it.
Okay.
Oh, look at that!
It's so cute.
It's so cute, isn't it? Yeah, and if you would see this thing, you'd think that it's so cute that you just want to pick it up and hold it.
Yeah.
But Dave, that would actually be a very bad idea.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. This animal is called the slow loris. We're looking at pictures right now. What do you think?
Yeah, it looks like it wants to have a staring contest.
It does. It's got these giant beady eyes, huh?
Yeah.
But this little animal, Dave, way more dangerous than you'd think.
Really?
Makes you wonder why.
It looks like a cuddle bug. You know?
It does look like a cuddle bud. All right, so now these are primates, kind of related to lemurs.
Okay.
This is the closest animal that you would recognize. They are arboreal, meaning that they live in trees like many primates. And their arms and legs are of equal length, and they have a long, flexible torso to help them maneuver in the trees. They have an extremely good grip with their hands and feet, so to help them in the trees as well, like most primates. And they have a funny looking face, don't they?
Yeah.
Small nose, but these giant
its
beady
eyes
eyes.
are on like 1,000 milligrams of caffeine or something, you know?
This looks like,
Yeah.
it
I'm
is-
wide awake. What's going on, George?
That is what they look like.
I'm keeping watch.
Yeah, and they probably, that's what makes them so cute is those eyes, I think.
Yeah.
Aw. You want to pet it,
Yeah.
but their faces look like, and they also look like they're timid and like full of anxiety,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or high, like you
like
said,
a
like
chihuahua.
super on caffeine or something.
Yeah. Don't kill me.
You can find these guys in Southeast Asia, and there are actually like 8 different recognized slow loris species. So we're just going to be talking about them in general.
Okay.
The rainforests of Southeast Asia. They're mostly nocturnal and sleep during the day, and mostly live alone. And they're they have some like sloth-like characteristics as well.
I can see that.
Like their energy level
Okay.
is very sloth-like,
Oh.
and they just move around pretty quiet and slowly.
Okay.
Very stealthy, and it's part of their defense mechanism is to be so quiet, to be really quiet in the trees, and to avoid predators. And in Indonesia, they are called mula mula or shy one.
Oh.
That's what it means, because they will freeze and cover their faces like with their arms.
Interesting.
They'll cover their faces when they are alerted to something.
You know, that makes sense because I wonder. This will just be my own theory, possibly, but if people or not people, but predators may subconsciously be able to point out eyes if you think about it.
Yes,
So I
because they
wonder
have
if
these giant
circles-
eyes and they're nocturnal. So you're exactly right.
Yeah, I wonder.
Moonlight
if they'll-
hits their eyes or something. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, the light will hit
Moonlight,
and,
so
and
I
reflect.
think that was a very
It will
good point.
Reflect. So yeah, that may be why.
They cover those giant eyes.
Yeah, because if you ever think about it, even if a human's hiding, if you
can see their
if you don't look, if you look away, think about that. And even if it's dark, but for some reason, I think even a something circular, or even maybe your eyes are just a different color, the whiteness of them is something that someone may be able to catch.
Yeah.
In
Oh, I get what you mean.
inside
Yeah,
of
the white-
something.
yeah.
You know. Yeah.
I get what you mean. So yeah, that is a good point. But they're very small too, and very light. The largest ones are like only 2.5 pounds,
Oh wow.
and there's like a pygmy one too, and
Oh,
they're
really?
they're like just like 8 ounces.
Oh gee.
And they are omnivores, eating insects, eggs, fruits, nectar, among other things. So, Dave, you're probably wondering what makes these cute little primates dangerous and why they're on our bizarre animal list. Nothing too big yet, right?
Yeah, I mean the thing weighs less than a king-size Skittle bag.
Well, they are the only toxic primate species.
Oh.
Let me explain. Now, technically, this is my own words. Technically, they are both poisonous and venomous.
Interesting. Okay.
Remember, we defined venom as a toxin that is injected,
Uh-huh.
right? So, like a bite or a sting.
Uh-huh.
Now, poison is secreted, like through the skin or something like that,
Okay.
right? Slow lorises produce a secretion from their brachial gland on their forearm.
Interesting.
Now, this secreting poison isn't extremely toxic. The secretion is similar to the allergen in cat dander.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So unless you're allergic, probably not going to do much. But if you say you're allergic to cats, you don't want to have one of these things
Okay.
around too. but they are also venomous. Now, what they do is they're going to lick their glands, the poison glands, and when it mixes with their saliva, it creates an even more potent toxin.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know the exact science behind that, all of it, but yes, the toxin from their forearm, the secretion, they'll lick it, put it in their mouth, mixes with saliva, and now it's actual venom.
Oh, weird.
Weird, huh?
Yeah. And what's even weirder is that it wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously it sounds like it's a poison for mammals, and it's a mammal, but it's putting it in its mouth, and it's not doing anything to it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It doesn't affect it. Yeah. And this is so weird that this attribute was dismissed by Western scientists until the 1990s.
Oh,
which
really?
wasn't even long ago. But yeah, they didn't. It wasn't studied until then.
Wow.
To protect from predators, they'll do this. They will rub their toxin all over their bodies. Making it so when predators, if they get close and they're going to come and sniff it, they're not going to like that at all.
Okay.
So they also do that to their young. They'll lather them up because they get when they're born, they don't have the ability for the toxin yet until they get older. So mama will rub her toxin all over them to help protect them. Pretty interesting attribute.
Yeah.
Huh?
So now, what does the toxin do exactly? Especially when they make it venomous.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
So yeah, if a predator gets too close, a slow loris will bite them if it needs to as well. And their venom is not something you want. I have an example.
Okay.
In 2012, a wildlife biologist in Borneo saw a slow loris in a mango tree. Its big eyes just was too much for the man to handle, so he had to pet it. He went to go and pet it, and it bit him on the finger. And it wasn't a very big bite. I mean, they don't produce a big bite. Initially, it was just painful, but the effects soon kicked into full-blown anaphylactic reaction.
Ooh.
His mouth, I saw pictures, his mouth swelled up, and his chest, he had these giant lips. It did look like way too much Botox. It was, but also his chest and stomach were hurting, nauseous, short of breath, weak and agitated. None of the, so it's not something you want.
And this can happen regardless of allergies or anything.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy.
I mean, it could be worse if you have some kind of allergy. I'm not a toxin expert, but
Gee.
Luckily, a clinic was nearby, and they gave him, I guess, a bunch of adrenaline to help his condition.
That's you need corticosteroid stuff.
What's it called? Ephedrine? No.
I don't remember.
Epinephrine. That's right.
Yeah.
Epinephrine.
Good job.
There's only one known case of a slow loris that actually killed somebody.
Oh, really?
So I couldn't find any info on that story, though. But there is a couple sources said it's happened at least once. I mean, I'm sure it's happened more, especially in the rural regions of Southeast Asia. I bet it happens more. But don't pet a slow loris, everyone. And a slow loris, they actually became kind of famous and popular about 10 years ago due to some YouTube videos that made them look super cute. There was a video of one holding a little umbrella, like when you get your drink. And apparently it was just so cute, and then it got millions of views. This is in the kind of the early part of YouTube. 2009, 8, something like that. But and there's also one that was holding its arms up, and it had a person tickling its armpits. And everybody thought it was so cute. And they thought they were adorable, and
it's probably thinking, get that secretion.
Yeah, get it, baby.
Get up in there, take it all.
No, actually, scientists say that was actually harmful to the
human
loris.
Right? Oh, to the loris,
as well, to do stuff like that.
Oh.
But everyone who watched it that thought they were adorable, not knowing how dangerous they are, and this made them popular for pets, whether legal or illegal. Most of it's illegal in the illegal pet trading. For some reason, and this was, I don't know why, but for some reason, one source said that they are very popular among Japanese women.
Ah.
I don't know the correlation to that.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was interesting. I didn't get it. In the pet trade, it's not good. First of all, the illegal pet trade isn't. I do not like it. And what they do before they send off a slow loris is they're going to take all their teeth out, which is
really
very inhumane. And actually, it was like 80% of them die from.
Why would they do that then?
I don't know, but
Wow.
so many of them die during the process or right after that process. So only like 20% of them get sold.
Oh, gee.
But they have to take the teeth out. I know they're super cute, but they would not make a good pet. So do not get one. And they also have a very hard time living in zoos. Like it's just hard. They're just the way that they're adapted. They're just hard. It's hard for them to do some things.
Oh.
So yeah,
maybe it's because they're so shy and solitary. Maybe that's too much.
Yeah,
from
if they get stressed, they have a lot of problems. Is what it is.
Yeah,
so
and the zoo
right.
is for viewing, so they're just going to be stressed the whole time.
I mean, they look like they're anxiety ridden, and I guess they really are.
Yeah.
But yes, don't get a slow loris. And the conservation scale, it depends on the species, but they are endangered and vulnerable.
Okay.
So that's another reason not to get one and why it's an illegal pet to trade.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the toxic venomous primate. That's so weird.
Yeah.
The venom part is weird. But really cool animal. Super cute. Just don't touch it.
Yeah.
Or look at it. It's not going to lick it either. just don't ever look at one ever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Dave, that is going to wrap up the episode. I hope everyone enjoyed learning about all these cool and bizarre mammals. Oh, you know what? I forgot. Here's the file for Slow Loris.
Boom.
Stamped with bizarre.
Bizarre.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed researching them, and it was a lot of fun for me.
Yeah,
so I hope everyone else
interesting.
enjoyed it too. For next episode, it could be a number of things. I haven't quite decided. My top 3 as of now are a solo episode on giraffes, which I do know some stories of them killing people. We've covered them before, but those are so early we could probably just recover them.
Oh, okay.
Because there's not a ton. But yeah, giraffes are... God, everything's bizarre.
Yeah.
But they're super cool, and there's a lot of interesting things that you won't know about them. Also, I was thinking bottlenose dolphins.
Yeah, that'd be
That's
good.
one we need to do. But we had a listener recommend this or send this to us, and we actually covered it for just a few minutes once. I think you covered it. But I know for a fact we could do a whole episode on it, but it's the Great Emu War.
Okay, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
I think we can make a full episode out of that. We'll we'll learn all about emus, and then we'll talk about the war, because I've done reading on it in the last couple months, and it's super interesting.
Right on.
I think that would be a fun one.
Let's do it.
So that one might be next.
Yeah.
You want to do that one next?
Yeah.
Is it confirmed?
Let's
Did
do
we
it.
get the stamp?
Yes.
The Great Emu War is next. So thank you, Logan, who he recommended that. It was on my list, but now he said it, so I'm like, I want to do it.
Nice.
So that's next. All right, it's gonna be fun. It's a super crazy story. It's literally a war against emus. The Australians it was a legit war, and they didn't do so good. The emus did fine.
Isn't that crazy?
So we'll learn all about them, all about that whole big story, and about the emus. It's gonna be fun. But Dave, we have some shout outs to get to.
Oh, sweet.
A bunch, actually. First, thank you, Larry Compton.
Larry Compton.
He came over from our friends at Tooth and Claw.
Oh, right
and
on.
has already listened to every episode, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
He's a binging us. That's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Also, Michael Hunter.
Michael Hunter.
He's from Australia, so he'll probably like
Nice.
the Emu War. And he also came over from Tooth and Claw.
Oh, okay.
So,
right
yeah,
on.
I told you it'd be good to make friends with them.
Yeah.
We could have been enemies. Also,
Not with someone with tooth and claw. No way.
Also, Christine Schk. Sjobakken. Sorry, it's not right, but it's SJOB. Yeah, it's Sjobakken.
Christine Sjobakken. How's that? Does that work?
Close enough. She told a little story about and how she was trying to find bears in Alaska with her friends.
Yeah?
They eventually found them when they were on a plane. They were able to fly over in a float plane. So that's cool. Also, we want to thank Dan Green.
Dan Green.
He's from the UK, and he really enjoys the Jim Corbett stories.
Oh, yeah.
So that's always good. Also, Seek for Andy.
Seek for Andy.
He had some very nice things to say, so thank you.
Right on.
Also, Alex Banjo.
Alex Banjo.
Banjo.
Banjo?
I don't know. Oh, yeah, I think it is Banjo.
Banjo. Alex Banjo.
Yeah, okay. He said we're their favorite podcast.
Oh, sweet.
And actually, they enjoy your puns.
Oh, hey, right on.
So, thank you, Alex. We really appreciate it.
That was a sweet melody he played. That banjo guy played for us.
Definitely. And he's from Australia, too, so he's going
right
to
on.
enjoy the emus. Also, last one, Chris P.A.
Chris P.A.
He said he's read Jim Corbett books before and enjoyed our take on them.
Nice.
He also recommends, and he's not the only one who's recommended this, to covering stories from Kenneth Anderson.
Oh, yeah?
I remember I've told you about him.
I think you did,
he was very similar.
The North American version kind of thing.
No,
Is that the one
no,
you were talking about?
No, he's still in India.
Oh,
but he was
okay.
another British guy, I believe.
Oh,
and
okay.
He was just after Jim Corbett. He was more like in the 50s.
Okay.
But he has a lot of good stories. The one I want to do with him mostly is the sloth bear from Mysore.
Ooh.
It was a killer sloth bear. I want to cover sloth bears and then do that story. So that's
that'd
another
be
one
good
on
then.
the list.
Yeah.
But that's the most shout outs we've ever had. So awesome. Thank you, everyone.
My voice is a little hoarse now.
But Dave, if anyone else wants a shout out, what can they do for us?
Go to iTunes, Apple Podcast, wherever you listen to, subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars, say something you like about the show. It really helps us gain more attention, gain more listeners. If you really want to help bump up your own conservationist, you could help out a couple of bizarre mammals that sit and talk on a microphone. One of them has a weird laugh, like me, and donate some money to them.
Very good. That's my favorite part of the show, is when you do that. Well, yes, now if you want to be an even more wonderful listener, what you can do is you can go to PayPal. You can donate to the show. Go on PayPal. You can find us by our email, forceofnaturepod@gmail.com, or on Venmo, my personal account, Matthew-Hamilton-51. All that information is on the description below. I'm gonna get us a Patreon. That's
Yeah.
I don't know why I just need to do that. So we'll have that soon. And to all the listeners, feel free to contact us if you ever want to. Tell us a cool animal-related story of you or someone you know. Or if you want to suggest an episode idea or, ask a question or say hi, please feel free. You can email us, message us on Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah.
Also, we still have t-shirts. T-shirts are still on
Sweet.
sale, so get them now. They are $24 plus shipping. So it's around $28, but ish. I don't know. Depends where you are.
Okay.
But yeah, that's an ish. But yes, we still got them, so go ahead and order them. You can do that. You can order them by sending us a message or email, and we'll talk a bit, and we'll get information, and then we will send it.
Yeah.
It's super easy, actually. It's maybe not as easy as ordering online, but it's super easy. And
Yeah.
I'll reply back because I want the money. But also help us grow by recommending us to family and friends. Tell them we're on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google. We're on all the ones we need to be on. Dave, do you have anything else to add?
No, I'm good.
All right, how about you there, Professor?
You know what? I actually might be the most bizarre mammal. Having been here with you two jabronis for 3 years, my goodness.
Well, you're with us, so I guess you're a little bit bizarre there, Professor. We appreciate it, though.
Sweet.
This is Force of Nature Podcast. Thank you for joining us. Tell your friends, be a part of building us up, and we will see you next time.
Bye.